Okay. What's happening, fam? LAR movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle. Create space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up. I put it up. This video, though, is entitled It's Evident Black Women Don't Understand Black Women. Now, if anybody's been on BGS's page, he put a post of a lady talking about what she's learned about her fellow sisters when her interacting with them, and how she can see they're going to interact with her sons and the men in her family. And this goes back to a few other things, and I've spoke about this in similar topics before, and I got female friends who assume that all ladies are good women, but they don't take into consideration that our male interactions with women aren't the same as their female interactions with women. So it's two different, that's apples and oranges. Like, to flip it around, when me and my homeboys get together, I don't expect our interactions to be the same interactions they have with their woman. You get what I'm saying? So it's evident that y'all don't understand each other because you don't understand that it's different when the two genders come up. And the way she was talking about, like, she was like, if this is what I have been doing, I'm sorry. And I'm getting into this point in different ways. I was just watching a video not too long ago about a guy who keeps making skits about, because if you notice, their brothers in the last year, 2 years, been making skits about having their girlfriend, and the girlfriends keep pulling out guns on them and threatening them to kill them and shooting them in skits, and people look at that as funny. Even though previously people actually, got killed for over birthday cake, and killed for bad gifts, and stabbed, and guys died because of stuff like this, right? Just stupid things. And it's like, at some point you don't understand these people like you think you do, and it's evident. Like, I got a homegirl, I think I told the story before, I'm not too sure, where what winds up happening is my friend says her friend's great, good person. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But then she tells me a story about my friend's, her friend is a side chick, and to her neighbor who lives with his girlfriend. And I'm like, how your homegirl a good person when the girl leaves to go to work, she slides in the house, but y'all gonna just blame it on the dude? Like, he's the bad guy in the situation alone. And it's like, so if you don't look at her as a snake, but you look at him as a snake, it's evident you don't understand your homegirl. She's not an innocent victim in this. You get what I'm saying? Prior to that, there was the incident, and I talked about this because it happened years ago, when they had the for every 100 black women, there are like 10 viable good black men. And the way they put the article out was, the women are 100, all 100 of the women, all 100% of the women are good, but only 10% of the guys are good. So if you got 100 black women, all 100 of them are good. If you got 100 black men, only 10 of them are good. It's like, you sure about this? And it's evident that you don't understand your own group, because sometimes when you oversell them, the sisters wind up having this issue with other women, like, because you oversell each other. Oh, you look better than you are. You act better than you are. Everything is the man's fault, and it's not, and you have no culpability. And then it all hits a head when you do something that is different, that's not in tune with the quote-unquote sisterhood. Then they turn on you. Like, if anybody saw that Breakfast Club interview with Kathy Griffin, when she was like, I didn't know white people were so evil. And Charlamagne was like, what? How you didn't? You white, you know all the stuff y'all done, but I get it. You didn't know that you didn't take it into consideration how evil people could be until they were evil to you. So this is where the problem is. Just like a parent, a parent can teach a child how to lie. and a child lies to the whole world. But it's not a problem until they lie to you. Or you could teach a child how to be disrespectful. They could be disrespectful to the whole world, but it's not a problem until they're disrespectful to you. And it's evident that when people talk about toxic masculinity with the sisters, it's like toxic femininity is not a problem because it's enabled, it's praised, it's looked at as a good thing. Until they do it to you. It's like, it's evident you don't understand. This is the issue that people are having. You know, that everything's not cool. You can't go around being belligerent to people and they're going to be cool with it. Now see, that belligerent stuff was praised and it was okay when you're on the same team. And it's looked at as a group, oh, nothing's wrong with being belligerent. Okay. We're going to see how that works out. But then when people belligerent to you, and it's not just, and the reasoning behind it makes no sense, then you start to realize maybe the reasoning behind them being belligerent to other people didn't really completely make sense either. So it's evidence you don't get it, that this is what goes on with other people. You know what I'm saying? When people point out things like, you know, this isn't a good look for the group, and they're like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. Like, and then time goes by and then you look back on it, you're like, oh, this is another problem. It's evident that you don't understand what's not a good look, because what you think is empowering is detrimental in the long term. It might be empowering in the short term, I guess, but long term is very detrimental and counterproductive. So, and as the lady was talking, she was like, she spoke about how she don't want the men in her family to get treated the way she got treated, but she realized that's how, in some ways, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but in some ways she realized she had been acting like that for a very long time also. So now this is where she's comfortable with the men in her family dating whoever makes them happy, whether they're in the race or outside of the race. Because now she's like, this behavior is something that you can't ask a person to put up with. And going back to what I was talking about earlier about the side chick and the neighbor. Sitting at a bar one day, clowning with a friend, and it's like two guys, two men, two women. And a young lady was talking, and she was like, you know, the guy asked, would you trust such and such around your man? And she's like, yeah, that's my girl, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I know your girl, right? I know your friend better than you know your friend. And you a fool. Because guess what? What happened with her last friend? And see, this is a problem. Because it's evident that, you don't know each other. You understand that, the code of conduct changes and varies between the genders. It's clowning, joking with somebody. You know what? I can't go there completely, but let's just say the bad behavior that they do with their homegirls is blamed on the guys, and the bad behaviors that they do with the guys is blamed on the guys. But what winds up happening is when the girls on around and the bad behavior exists and the guys on around and the bad behavior exists, then it's like, it can't be me. Yeah, it's you. And it morphs into something worse. It morphs into, it's society, it's this, it's that. Like, no, you don't understand that your negative aspects of your behavior have been cultivated to be okay. And now what you're seeing is these ladies understand that women are attacking other women the way they would attack men, with the same illogical, irrational behavior. And now it's like, I ain't know we was like that. And it's like, yeah, that's how you been the whole time. Like, for real, for real, for real, for real. And sometimes I talk to ladies online about this. Like, I you know, and I've talked to ladies maybe for months, years, you know, from time to time. You know, I might reach out to somebody might reach out, and I'll be like, look, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. Be like, nah. And then when it happens, how did you know that? I'm a black man, I deal with black women. This is what happens when you get on triggering or touchy topics or things, or responsibility and accountability comes into play. It goes left. It doesn't stay in the direction you think it's gonna go in. So it's evident, you know. And if you look at video, you see people actually doing bad behaviors thinking it's okay. Like, before I go, do you remember the video about the young lady who was dragging the baby to the doorstep and ran off? And then she did the news interview where she was like, I would never do that. That picture's worth 1,000 words, because she was smiling, thought it was fun, all that, and then to the interview, I would never do that. That's how, you know, the men know who's running the baby to the door smiling like it's a joke is who they know. The girl who's on TV talking about I would never do that is the girl you know. And so when you see the actual video and the person, then you go, oh, exactly. So we done.